We're now ready for Access Chapter 3 Training, Activity 3.06, Grouping Controls and Applying a Theme to a Form in Layout View. We're asked to go to the Layout View of the 3A Student Major Change form and select all three text box controls and their labels, and then group the controls in the stacked layout format. Basically what we're doing is we're going to make our form here look a little better. We're going to make the text fields all the same size. Now you can see we're already in Layout View, so we don't need to change anything with that, but we need to select the text box controls and their labels. The boxes over here with the text in it, these are the text box controls. Over here where our headings are at, or our field names, these are the label controls. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to click in the first name, hold down the Shift key, and then select the rest of the boxes so that you can see they all have orange little boxes around it. That means they're all selected. I'm going to come over here to the Arrange tab under my Form Layout Tools, and over here in the very first grouping for Table, you can see where it says Stacked, and this is going to, when I click on that, make all of the fields the same size, so you can see it looks a little more formatting. So now we want to select only the first name label control, and so we're just going to click on the first name, so that's the only one selected. And we want to change the theme for the form object only to Civic. So we're going to come up here to Design. Over here under the Themes area, you can see Themes. We're going to click on that. And then we're going to move our mouse over until we find the one that's called Civic. Now, you can see they don't have the names on them, but if you move your mouse over them, the name will pop up until you find Civic. We want to right-click on this, and we want to apply to this object only. So the key here is to right-click once you find the Civic theme. We're going to then apply theme to this object only. And so we've changed the theme of the label. So now in Layout View, which we're already in Layout View, we're going to add the student ID label and text box controls to the form immediately above the first name controls. Now there's more than one way to do everything in Access, and I'm going to show you one way that I know. We're going to come up here to where it says Add Existing Fields. We're going to click on that, and we want to add the student ID label. So I'm just going to double click here, and you can see it added my label. But we want it to be immediately above the first name controls. So with my mouse with the four-headed arrow, we're going to left click and hold it, and then move it up until the orange line goes above the first name. Let go of that, and then now I'm going to close my field list. Now that particular skill, it might take a little bit of practice for you to get it, but remember you can go back into the training as many times as you want. So now we want to simultaneously move the last name label and text box controls above the first name. So we're going to click on last name, hold down the Shift key, and then click the label, the text box controls as well. And we're going to click and hold down with the left mouse key while our mouse looks like that four-headed arrow, and then drag it up until the orange line goes right up above the first name. And now we've moved those two as well. And now we're asked to click and drag to resize the last name text box so that the right edge of the control aligns with the letter R at the end of the name Bartholomew. So we're going to click here so we only have the last name text box selected. We're going to come over here and make our mouse look like the double-headed arrow. Click with our left mouse key, and we're just going to move it down just by the R, and then let go. And we've resized the form. The key on that one is just selecting that last name, the text box controls. Okay, so now we want to go to the Layout View of the 3A Student Major Change form, and you can see we're already in the Layout View. We're going to format all four selected text boxes, and they're all four already selected here. We want to make them the background color red accent 1, so we're going to come up here to Format, and over here in our font grouping we have our background color, and we want to select red accent 1 lighter 80%. So right here it's the second row down under theme colors. I'm going to click on that, and we've made the background color a red. Now we want to simultaneously select and then align the left edges of the form header and the form footer label controls. So the first thing we have to do is select the form header and form footer. Remember, form header is at the top of the form, and we're going to hold down the Shift key because we also want to select the form footer. So now we have the form header and the form footer selected. If we come back up here to the Design tab, over here in the Tools section we have our property sheet. If we click on that property sheet, you can see here's all the different things that we can do now that would affect both our header and our footer. We could give it a caption, change the width and the height. We want to change the left edges, so we're going to click down here by left edges and just type in 0.5 and hit enter. You can see here's also where you can change text colors and the font. That's all we want to do is change the left to 0.5, so then we're going to close that property sheet, and you can see it moved our header and footer over just about a half an inch.